Hey guys, it's Lindsay from the blog Repurpose and Upcycle, and I want to show you guys my project where I used shiplap paneling sheets in our master bedroom to create an accent wall. I've also touched on the difference between shiplap paneling sheets versus regular old shiplap boards. So here's what the wall looked like before I installed the paneling. Yes, this is my old peel and stick foam molding that I used to create these beautiful picture frame panels. To be honest with you, I liked it, but I couldn't ever get past the fact that they weren't 100% straight. You don't notice it from a distance, but when you get up close, you can see it, and it just bothered me. So I decided that I wanted to use these shiplap panels to install over this wall. You can see one panel is $36.98. This ends up being about half the cost of installing regular shiplap boards. So we brought them home, and the first thing we did was we cut the boards to length. And then we found the studs in the wall, and we started by installing the one that was on the right side on the corner of the wall. Now, the first panel was the hardest because, like most people know, walls aren't straight. And so you can see at the top where there's a gap on the left side of the board versus the right side of the board because there's just an angle on the ceiling, which really kind of is a pain to work with. So what you'll end up doing, and what I ended up doing, was putting molding at the top to cover that gap. The next thing you have to watch out for are just working around the outlets. And so you can see I traced it out here, used a spade drill bit to start it, and then just used a jigsaw to cut out the hole for the outlets. So basically I just, you did one panel at a time, and each panel is a 4x8. This wall took 6 panels, and overall I'm super pleased. I'm not done with it. This is just right after they've been installed. It needs to be caulked and painted, but so far I'm really pleased with how it looks, and I can't wait to get it painted. So this is what it looks like after I painted it. I did paint it the same color as the rest of my walls, so you probably don't notice much color, but it's got a little bit. I want to go ahead and show you some of the issues with it. Even after caulking and doing some spackling, you can still see the seams where the boards come together. I even used an extra nail in that one spot, and it still bulks out just a little bit. At the top, I used a shoe molding to cover the difference. And to make it look more seamless. And at the corner, I cut the shoe molding at an angle to match the top of the molding. And all I did was use caulk through the rest of it. And at the bottom, I made sure that it sat directly on top of the other molding. And then I caulked it, and honestly, it looks seamless. I'm going to take a moment and talk shiplap boards versus shiplap paneling sheets. So here's the finished room. I love how it looks. This bedroom I've always felt had a cottage vibe, and the shiplap paneling sheets really add to it, and so I love it. But here are the good and the bad points about these shiplap paneling sheets versus the boards. If you pan back in this room, you can still see where my seams are for each separate board. And could I have prevented that? I don't know, I tried my best to cover them up, but even putting multiple nails in, you could still see the difference because the boards just stuck out because the wall isn't totally flat. Another thing to keep in mind with the paneling sheets is installing these is a 2-person job. And if you're somebody that likes to fly solo on DIYs, especially home projects, you might want to go with the shiplap boards versus the sheets because they're really heavy. You just need 2 people to put them in and install them. The bad thing about shiplap boards are they are about double the price of the shiplap paneling sheets. Also, the shiplap paneling sheets, you have 2 options. You can install them horizontal or vertical. And with the boards, you can be a little more creative. You can do like a herringbone pattern. You can just do them in different patterns because they're single boards versus an entire sheet. And as far as right now, the shiplap paneling sheets only come in one size per, shiplap board panel, which is about 4 1/4. I would imagine as they create new products, they would probably make them in different sizes. But as for right now, I've only seen them in one size. But with shiplap boards, you can buy the shiplap boards in all different sizes. You can make them smaller. I think the normal size is a 6-inch width. I know some people like to do 5-inch width too. Overall, I think I would use the Shiplap paneling sheets. If it was a large flat wall where you're covering a lot of surface area, I do think the installation is a little quicker. If you don't have a lot of intricate cuts like around molding or windows, if it is a fairly small area that does have a lot of cuts, I would stick with the Shiplap boards. I hope I've given you guys some information as far as which to choose from between the Shiplap paneling sheets or the Shiplap boards. As always, reach out if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.